Hi everybody, it's Jill Lancet. Crikey, I hope you've had a great week. Yeah, I'm going to make, let me start again. I was thinking about partial embossing, and I was like, yeah, you know how you put these diffuser pieces in, and I was like, I haven't even got any. I don't even think I have. And if I have, crikey, I don't know where they are. Anyway, so then I started thinking about this. Okay, and I was like, let's just simplify this. Now, look, if you want to have a look at any of the stamp sets or dies that I've used tonight, jilllancet.stampinup.net. I hope that's straight because you know what, I've had one of those days. So yeah, what I thought I'd do is I've got all this stuff here. I'm going to pop this over here, and when I'm looking for that, it's over there. All right. Now, I have a piece of basic white. Now, I've got all this stuff written down. Where am I going to start? Okay, let's start with this. It is a piece of basic white, and it is matte 3. Now, you guys, get these. They're free. Just email me, or you can look on the Jill's Free Project Sheets Facebook page. It's the last one in the files section. If you're in the US, it's 3.5 by 4 3/4. If you're in Australia or indeed a metric country, it is 9 by 13.3. Good grief. Crikey. 9 by 13.3. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you this particular bit, and then I'll explain all the other bits and pieces, because I was literally dreaming about how I was going to do this. You know, so look, I've got this die. It's from a nesting set. I've had it for donkey's years. Who makes black dies? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to just trace around that. Look, I'm just going to pop that on there. This is just a piece of basic white in matte, what did I say, matte 3. Look through your stash. It doesn't have to be this shape. You can make it any shape you like. Now I'm just going to hold that down, and with my really like thin pencil, I'm just going around the edge. Now here's the thing, this is the back, okay? This is going to be the back. And crikey, I made a dog's breakfast out of that, didn't I? Look, there it is there. Now, as usual, I find that just a bit above centre pleases the eye. So there's a bit more there than there is there, okay? Now, that is the back. Now, we don't need this anymore. We're not actually cutting with it. I just needed something that I could trace around. So now, the next thing you need is a scoreboard. If you've got a scoreboard, fantastic. If you don't, Stampin' Up! Do sell them, and I'll give you all the details. There will be a project sheet. So now I'm putting this sideways. There's my oval, and I'm popping it landscape in my scoreboard. Now this one comes with a, what do you call those things? What do you call these? Bone folder, or an embossing folder. All right. So I've pushed that up to the very top. It's over to the very side. Now, if you need to, you could use a ruler here just to help you. As long as it's got a flat edge on it and you can butt it up against there, this can help you, okay? So now I'm going right on the line, and I need to find the nearest nearest embossing thing. It's probably best to start back from there. Hang on. Now, I am only going to emboss from the drawn line on my circle. So I'm going from there to there, okay? Now, I'll go back and find this one and just do that little bit. Now, this will all become evident in a minute. So once you get the hang of this, you really don't need the ruler. So you can just do that one there and then find the next one and only go as far as your drawn line. I wanted to do this bit just to show you how I got it. So I'm not relying on the rule. I'm not relying on the ruler. I'm actually just kind of using the ruler to help me find the next embossing space. But, you know, if you will get the hang of this, guys. Crikey. I'm lost for words now. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, my gosh. Jill Lancet, lost for words. My mother always said that I've been talking since the age of like 9 months, and I have not shut up since. That's basically what she says. I'm like, yeah, okay, 9 months, mama, da. She said, no, pretty much full sentences. I was like, really? She went, yep. She said that I could talk underwater with a mouthful of chips. There we go. And I'm going to continue all the way down, just finding that next one. And I'm stopping and starting at the pencil line. Oh, that one went a little bit over, but you know what? It won't matter. It literally won't matter. Now, I'm not going to continue this because I've already done 2 of them, but I'm going to flip that over and let you see. Look at that. What do you think about that? Now, I just wanted to show you how I got there, okay? So I've traced that oval, that shape, whatever shape you'd like. I've popped it in here, and I've literally just gone down each of these and stopped at the end. Now that's going to make a great Easter egg, don't you think, for Easter? But let's get on with this card. I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces now. Obviously, I would continue on all the way down there. I don't want to hold you guys up. I'm pretty sure you got the gist of it, okay? So we'll pop that over there. We don't need this now, and I've got everything cut out. Okay, now I just want to show you the bits and pieces that are in this beautiful catalogue that we're using. We're using this set here. It's a bundle. It's part of this Bloom Boutique suite of products. It is these gorgeous nesting scalloped circles and this beautiful sentiment stamp. Now, these, I love nesting dies. I'll always buy nesting dies. They're just so handy. Look how big they are. But I'm using this label from here. I'm not using any of the circles. We're using one stamp from this set, and that is You're a Blessing to Me. Now, I'm using the gorgeous dies from, and while I was on the job, I cut several, okay? This is the Lily of the Valley dies, and the stamp we're using from here is To a Forever Kind of Friend. That's going to go inside the card. But we're using this beautiful, delicate stem of the Lily of the Valley and this leaf here. So that's what we're using there. Let me pop that back in there. So the Bloom Boutique is on page 16 of this gorgeous catalogue. The Valley in Bloom. Look at this. You buy the suite of products and you get, I always try to buy at least one suite every time a new catalogue has come out. This was the suite I bought. It's got the beautiful paper. You've got the beautiful stamps and dies. There's some specialty paper. You get these beautiful little embellishments and that gorgeous embossing folder that I kind of went a bit crazy with, guys. You know, that floral spray one. Yeah, that one. Now, the bundles are, they start on page 36. If you just want the bundle, the dies and the stamps, or the stamps and the punch, that starts on page 36. We're also using some of these gorgeous adhesive sheets. Now, they make life easy. Trust me, I know about hard, okay? I know the hard way to do just about anything. And here is a scoreboard. Now, if you don't have one, you know, they're so handy. Stampin' Up! Do sell them. I'll put all the details in the project sheet, just in case. Like if you haven't got one and you're thinking about it, then yeah, why not? Pop it in with your next order and then it'll all come together. So I want to show you what I've got here. So I have a Fresh Freesia, just a standard card base. In Australia, it is 10.5 by 14.85. In the US, it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so, and I have two of these. I'm going to call them embossed bits because the first one I did vertically. I hope you can see that. I'm going to hold that hopefully so you can see it. Hang on. I'm going to stand up. Yeah. Okay. So I did them vertically. And then I put my little flower on there and I was like, it's going the same way. So then I tried doing it horizontally and I actually liked that better, but you might like it vertically. So this is where you do what you'd like to do. That is the complete horizontal one. That is the complete vertical one. I'm going to do it with the horizontal one, but I've got this piece that I can make another card from if I wanted to. Okay, so we had two pieces of that basic white, and they were, where's my notes? Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. I'm just going to pop it up there so I can see it. So we had our standard Fresh Freesia card base. Then we've got two pieces of basic black, and they are matte 2. Now, matte 2 is 9.5 by 13.85, or 3 3 3/4. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, if you're in the US. That is a not straight conversion into inches, by the way. Then we had two basic white pieces. One, we have done our little bit of scoring or embossing. You could have that either way. You could rub out the circle, but I like it coming up. That is matte 3, 9 centimetres by 13.3, or 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Now, I've got my little label. I've put my stamp on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this piece, but I put that in there to have it there. Now, I've cut out the leaves from that gorgeous, gorgeous Lily of the Valley, and I have simply used my blending brush to, that's got Mossy Meadow on it, okay? So I've just given that a little bit of a colour up. Now, look, if you love white on white, go for it. But that's what I did. Now, this one has adhesive on the back of it. Do you know how tricky it is to put glue on that thing there? It's really tricky. So, yeah, that one's got adhesive paper on the back. This one does not, because I want to pop those up onto dimensionals. This one here, I've just coloured that with the Light Fresh Freesia blend, and I'll show you how I did that, because this one here also has the adhesive paper on the back, and it was just a little scrap that was left over, and I've just simply cut out 3. It's just the top 3 pieces with the die. So this is all I've done with this. I've just coloured this in like that, and that is just Light Fresh Freesia. It does dry back a bit lighter. Now, the other thing I did was Soft Seafoam. This is the dark Soft Seafoam, and I coloured in the stem. It was really hard to try and use the blending brush on that. So I'll just show you how I've done that as well. So I'm going to trim this, obviously. So I've just gone along the stem with the dark Soft Seafoam, and it's just coloured it slightly. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. I've got to have a drink. Hang on. Cheers, everybody. Okay, so we've got all our bits and pieces here. So that's how I did that. Now I'm going to actually stick these two together. Now, look, tweezers, especially these ones that will hold things for you, are really, really handy. So I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick, and I'm going to take the backing paper off. Look at that. How cute. How cute is that? So now I'm going to hold that down here, just like that, and I'm going to lay one on top of the other. I just wanted it a little bit thicker. You don't have to do this. You don't have to pop it up. But, yeah, I just thought it might be useful if that was popped up. So just hold your horses, honey. And, I mean, you could have it off center to give it another look if you wanted to, but I'm just going to try and get them lined up. And there it is. So that's 2 thicknesses now. That's a little bit more sturdy. This thing is so delicate. Let me just tell you, it is very delicate, but now it's got a bit of guts to it. So that's that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to use the one with the horizontal lines on it, and I'm going to glue that onto a black mat. Now we've got this really nice border, and I'm going to use some liquid glue with that. Just bear with me. So the back is where we've done our pencil lines, traced around the shape that we want. You know, some of those gorgeous labels, those big labels with the fancy edges. The top of the oval is a little bit higher than at the bottom, just because it pleases the eye and no other reason than that. Now, this is a bit warpy. So once you've got this laid down, I'm thinking something heavy. So I'm going to use my gorgeous, and this is another use for this beautiful packet of cards. I'm just going to sit that on there for a minute. Right. Now, in the center of my card, I want to stamp, where is it? Here it is, to a forever kind of friend. So I'm going to stamp that with the Memento Black, if I can find it. We'll just give that a little bit of a test run. I should have moved this over here. Crikey. I'm going to tidy. I've made a promise to myself. I'm going to tidy this desk up this weekend. I've got a class at Rooty Hill on Sunday, but I'm really going to make a concerted effort, I'm telling you. So this paper's got two sides, so if I stuff this up, you know, I can flip it over to a forever kind of friend. That's really nice, isn't it? I've got quite a few forever kind of friends, and I really value their friendship. Look at that. Now, with this little piece here, I just thought I might like to have that. Now that I've coloured it, I'm going to trim that bit off there. I don't know how I'm going to have it. Let's just trim that wonky bit off there. Just like that. And remember, this is a scrap. Oops, I dropped the embellishment. This is a scrap with the self-adhesive stuff on the back of it. So, you know, that was destined for the bin. Nope. So I'm just going to have that. I think I'm just going to pop it there like that. What do you reckon? Does that look cool? Yep, that'll do. I like it on that side. You've got plenty of room to write. I think it's easier to pull it down from the top where the flower is. And we've got our little tweezers again. They're so handy, these tweezers. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold the horses, honey, while I just figure that out. Oh, look at that. I like that. I'm just trying to go in with the cut that I made, which was at an angle. Oh, dear. There we go. Look at that. And it's a sticker. No fiddly gluing. Nope. Now, that's going to go onto this other black mat. So we'll do exactly the same thing. I'll just pop a bit of glue around the edge. And perfect borders every time if you use the matte templates. It's free. I'm not kidding you. It is so handy. And the other thing that is really, really handy for is, say I'm in a metric country. These are my mats. My measurements are in centimetres. I watch somebody from the US, and these are their measurements. These are their usual standard measurements. It's 1/4 of an inch decreased each time. So when they say, look, I'm using this piece, it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. Check it out on this template and go 4 inches by 5 1/4. Well, that's mat 1. All I need to do is go to mat 1, which is 10 by 14.3 centimetres. As I said, it is not a conversion. This fits the Australian/metric cards. This fits US letter size. They are totally different sizes. Anyway, no more confusion. If you've got that, Yep, you're in business. Okay, let's have a look. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I think we'll pop this. Oh, no. I found, would you believe, I found some fresh freesia ribbon in my stash. So I think I'm going to, yeah, I won't put that on the card yet. We'll just wait because I think I want to wrap that around. I can pop this inside the card though. We'll do that. We will do that. That'll be one less piece I lose, won't it? Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. I gave my little doggy a bit of a haircut. She has a very long coat and it's around her face, particularly, you know, around her eyes. And she doesn't like it one bit. And that's how you get scratches like that and that. I'm just telling you. So there's our gorgeous card. Now, let's have a look at this. I'll show you those again in a minute, those other things. So how easy was that to stick that on to that? Now, I want to pop some dimensionals just behind the top couple of these. Now, the minis actually fit on there. What am I looking for? Take your pick. Yeah, so the minis fit on just like that. How clever is that? And look, if you don't have any mini ones, just cut your big ones probably in half or in quarters, and that'd be perfect as well. Right, so I'm going to take the backs of these. I feel like I'm really shaky this afternoon. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a type 1 diabetic and I have an insulin pump. Some of my older viewers know the struggle that I went through. It was like a huge learning curve. And sometimes the insulin pump actually does provide insulin to me all the time, just about. But sometimes I feel a little bit shaky. Now, I think we might just have that like that. Let's just pop that down there like that. Now, I didn't even put glue under those ones because we're going to do some other things. We're going to put these beautiful leaves. I'm just going to sort of cross them over at the bottom, I think. I'll just have one a bit higher up the stem, just like that. Now you can pop a dimensional under the top of your leaf, just like that. I'm going to pop a bit of glue. And it's got cuts in it, so just be aware of that. So these it actually cuts the it actually cuts it. So we'll pop that over the top of that stem, I think. We'll have that one going there like that. Do you love it? I kind of do. I've had this set. This was one of the first sets that I bought, like the first suite that I bought. And apart from the embossing folder that, you know, I'm a bit crazy for, and I think I made some simple cards using the Designer Series paper. I haven't had a really good go at this one. So I'm just going to pop that just over there like that. Pop it underneath that a bit, I think. Just have that like that. Look at that. Now this, I'm not sure. I was thinking of actually popping a little bit of black behind it, but I'm not sure now. Literally not sure. I might just put the ribbon on it and be done with it. What do you think? I know it's a bit big, this sentiment, but I think it's going to be okay. Right, so I'll pop some ribbon, just some ribbon around here. And where is our seal? I will use some seal. Just pop that ribbon in there. Cut the other end. I think that's so pretty. Now you can cut, look, if you've got all the blends for the new in colours, you can use the beautiful new in colours, colour that, use the ribbon that matches it. There is matching ribbon. I haven't got any of those things yet, so I just bought a new car, guys, and I'm pretty broke now. Especially when my husband said, yeah, yep, you can buy that car. That's gorgeous. You can have that car. Oh, incidentally, I want to buy one too. So we bought 2 new cars in the same day. And afterwards, my husband had, a major, I've spent that much money in one day. And I was like, yep, you did. Look, I like that. I'm going to pop that up now. I'm going to pop that up on, let me see if I've got some big ones. Yep, I have got some big ones. Yeah, so he was in shock. when he got home, he was like, what have I done? I was like, my goodness, apart from our house, that is the most money he's ever spent in one day. Yeah. He's a bit on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Frugal is probably the nicest way to put that. Frugal. He doesn't like to spend money. But anyway, yeah. So now I have to tighten my belt just a little bit, or win cash money at bingo, which is really hard to do, let me just tell you. Okay, now look, I want to line that up kind of down there like that. Oh, I really like that. I'm actually going to move it over a little bit. Sometimes I, line it up with the edge, but I want to see that little pop of colour coming out from there. Look at that. Now, we've put our insert in. It ties the outside of the card into the inside of the card. I think I'm coming down with a cold. I had a little bit of a sore throat the other day, but now I'm getting all blocked up. I mean, it is the season, isn't it? So I'm going to put some liquid glue on there. I made this a smaller kind of mat because I wanted to show a fair bit of the gorgeous fresh freesia. So that's why that is mat 2 and not mat 1. I'm going to show you something else as well. Oh, crikey, that's really lovely. It's so delicate. Now, I was going to use these. These are the embellishments that come in the Valley in Bloom suite. But obviously, I think the white ones are going to be the only ones. They've got a touch of Coastal Cabana in them. But you know what? I'm not upset about that. Not in the slightest. So let's have a look. I think we need one there. And that was a big one. So I think we'll pop a small one there. And a big one just down there. Oh, that is so delicate. Guys, I'm going to stand up. You know, I don't stand up for too many people these days, but I think that's pretty. I don't think it needs a bow. Do you? I think just that little peak of that fresh freesia. Now, obviously, if you're going to make this with different colours, you know, current colours, you would probably have the right ribbon for that. But I love the way that looks. I really, really love that texture of that, and it was so simple to achieve. We didn't need a special diffusing blah blah and whatever else, but we've put some texture on there that's going to create an enormous amount of interest to this card. When you open that up inside, we've got that other little piece right there. Guys, what do you think about that? You reckon you'll have a go at that? Now, I was going to show you something else. This was the piece that I started with. That is just a rectangle scrap. I did some ink blending on it before I did the scoring. I coloured the flowers in blue. I left everything else white. And then I was like, that's lovely, but you put a simple message on that. That is a beautiful sympathy card in my way of thinking, okay? But I wanted to show you this fantastic set of sketches. Now, I did a whole video on this not so long ago. These are from the gorgeous, very clever girls, Kayla, Maswari and Rochelle. And they put their heads together and they made these gorgeous, gorgeous card sketches. They're beautiful. You've got a sketch on the front, and then on the back you have your measurements, imperial and metric. You've got a guide here. It tells you A, B, C. You've got your sentiments. You've got your elements. They're really, really handy if you need inspiration at any time. These are small enough to sit on your desk all the time. The box feels fantastic. I don't know how to describe that. To me, it feels a bit rubbery, but it's a nice feeling. Anyway, I will put a link to that. I'm not sure how much stock they've got. You know, sometimes they get a bit of a run on these things. But I will put a link. Sorry, my nose is blocking up now, guys. I will put a link, and you can go and have a look at those for yourself. You can likewise go and find my video. It was only a few weeks ago. I think it's called This Brilliant Little Tool or something like that. I'll put a link to that as well so you can have another look at it. If you haven't seen it, please let me know what you think. This is what I started playing with. This is what I ended up with, and I love it. A very, very simple thing. Now, don't forget, you can do it vertically or you can do it horizontally. After just sitting that on the vertical, I felt it got a little bit lost. Not so much with the ink behind it, but when it was plain, I thought so. But look, the very, very soft, delicate colours, just, I find that hard to do. Less is more, and I find that really hard to do sometimes. But anyway, I'm working on it. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, if you'd like to check out those stamps and dies, etc., JillLancet.stampitup.net. Obviously, that's my Australian store, so if you're in Australia, go there. Email me if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to go onto my newsletter list. Now, every time I make a video, I send a newsletter out the following morning, and it will have the link to the video, and it will have the project sheet if there is one. Now, You can unsubscribe at any time if it's not your cup of tea. You can also get the project sheets there at my Facebook group, which is called Jill's Free Project Sheets. Flip over to that one. You can download the matte templates, and you'll be able to download that beautiful project sheet for tonight's card. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you know what? I'd love for you to subscribe. And you know what? I don't mind it if you share this video. If you think you know somebody that would appreciate this beautiful card, and rather than you try and tell them, just pop it off to them, and yeah, then you can talk about it. That's it. Oh, unless you'd like to donate to my nephew's wildlife. He's doing a fantastic job, him and Jess. Hi, Duncan. Hi, Jess. Hi, guys. Down in Tasmania. And it's called the Kanamaluka Wildlife Rehabilitation Centre. Now, it's not open to the public per se. They rely solely on volunteers. They have a lot of volunteers that actually help them with the animals. But they need money. Everybody needs money, these guys. And these guys don't get any government funding. That's criminal. Anyway, if you'd like to belong to the card making community that is a private Facebook group, feel free to email me and ask me about that. I will then set you up with that. That is a safe place for you to upload your beautiful creations. Only card makers are on there, and we all love to encourage one another. We all love to get new ideas as well. So yeah, think about that. Send me an email, tilly2145@gmail.com, if you'd like the newsletter, or if you'd like to be hooked up with the private community. You can, of course, post your cards on Jill's Free Project Sheets. It is a public group, though. You need to know that, guys. Okay, look, I'm going to leave you now. Yeah, I think I'll have a nice hot lemon drink because I'm feeling really blocked up in the nose. Anyway, guys, look, thank you so much. Thank you again for spending a bit of time with me. I really appreciate that. And I would love for you to stay safe and be kind if you can. Doesn't cost you a cent to be kind, even if it's just a smile, holding the door open for somebody. These tiny little things, just go a long way. We're human beings, and yeah. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Be kind. Thank you so much. Hooray, and bye for now.